Hey, everybody, welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. I am looking forward to welcoming Perry Gladstone and Ravi Rajcoomar to the show, the Moonshot Collective, TMC, helping purpose-driven leaders and innovators grow with the best. Guys, I appreciate you being on the show today. Thanks so much. One of my favorite videos is Moonshot Thinking. Right. I mean, it's such an inspiring and motivating thing to watch. But let's talk today. You guys are a network of mastermind groups. And I think, especially as we kind of, sit here on July 23rd, 2021, I think there's a lot of people thinking, how can I grow my consciousness, right? How can I grow to the next level of where I want to be in this post-COVID world, in a hybrid world? How do I lead? What's happiness? I spoke all week on my Coffee with John show in the morning with a guy by the name of Nick Marks, and he's the CEO of a company called Friday Pulse, and they measure happiness, right? And so I think a lot of companies are trying to figure out a lot, and I think a lot of individuals are figuring out, what's my unique ability? As a business coach, I see it all the time, working with solopreneurs to Fortune 100 companies and everything in between. Everybody's trying to figure out, how do I get to the next level, right? What do I need to do? And so when your booking agency sent me your stuff, I really was drawn to the name of your company, right? Because I love as soon as I saw it, I sent him an email. I was like, yes, I want to talk to these guys because of the video, Moonshot Thinking. So let's talk about the word moonshot, right, for a minute. I just want to kind of talk about the foundation of how you got to your name.
Sure,
absolutely. I'll kick it off there. Just one thing to think about, right? This BHAG, right, from Jim Collins speak, the envision future. This is that same concept. This is something that, what does that future look like? What is that thing that you can rally yourself, your team, your organization around to really get behind this solo mission? And what's bigger than, in the 60s, going to the moon, right? Yeah. It's that point in the left field, swinging the bat, we're coming. Like this is the vision of why we chose that terminology. And we use that in our vernacular every day.
Yeah. And, not that Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson went to the moon, but talk about moonshot thinking, about how they just went into, into space. And so I think a couple of years ago, people would have looked at that and say, oh, you're crazy. Right. Sure. And now they're talking about, populating space with, with real estate, more or less. And so it's so hard to even think about, but it seems very in front of us. Perry, you were going to say something?
Well, you're absolutely right, John. And the idea of this type of, exponential thinking that, you hear guys like Peter talk about is and Ravi, you just said this, but what's bigger than you? What is the goal that goes beyond not just what you want to accomplish with your business or for yourself or even in this lifetime, but what kind of positive impact can we have in and on the world?
Yeah.
And when you think big like that, it takes you out of your everyday limitations and you start to make connections and associations that take you, that begin to set you up to be able to go to what we call the next level.
Yeah.
So our whole objective is to use that kind of thinking and make that the arena we're in all the time.
I love that arena. So wait, let me ask you a question. So, I want to answer your question, and I'm curious about what you guys think as well. When you say, what's bigger than you? Mm-hmm. I think if we're talking about the moon and space and billionaires for a moment, but I think if we reverse engineer that, I think what's bigger than you for most people that I see, no matter what size companies they run, what their position is, what's bigger than them a lot of times is their very next step. And knowing what that very next step is, right? Because
let me speak to that.
What'd you say?
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no. I want you to speak to it because I think it's very real.
It is, and I'm so glad you brought this up. So everybody associated with TMC, with the Moonshot Collective, goes through an orientation process where we literally break down what is your purpose. What is the thing that you are here to do in this world? You're born to do, that you can't help but do. And the reason why this is so important is because this is the first step of what's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And you were talking about happiness earlier, and not to get too fluffy here, but we really believe that the answer is not happiness. That is not the thing to measure. We believe the thing to measure is fulfillment.
Oh, 100%.
And our belief is that fulfillment comes from pursuing your greatest potential. So what is your greatest potential? It's to fulfill your purpose. So whether we're talking about personal or professional development, frankly, I don't draw a line between the two. It's to start there. It's to do that first deep dive and really understand, what am I here to do? And this is context neutral. You may be the best CEO, you may be the best salesman, you may be the best whatever it is that you do. But when you strip away the context, there's a thing. We like to call it your superpower, but there's a thing. And when you completely understand that, when you can articulate it clearly, then you get into this kind of thinking, this moonshot kind of thinking, whereas you just said earlier, the next step is ahead of you. But when you know what your purpose is, you can always find it. And this is the goal, right? Wherever you are, it's always there.
Yeah, I want to talk about fulfillment for a minute. I loved what you were talking about, Perry, because one of my favorite quotes, "Success without fulfillment equals failure," is Tony Robbins. And that quote has really driven me to make all the business, reinventions of myself, because I've always been on the path of fulfillment to do what I love, which is what I'm doing right now, versus just, things that you're not fulfilled at. It's amazing. I was talking about it with this morning with people. And so when it comes to fulfillment, though, fulfillment can be something that is feels out of reach for people, right? As fulfillment can be, hey, I am here in a job, I have a family, I'm making a money where I'm kind of handcuffed a little bit. I'm 60% fulfilled here, 100% fulfilled with my family, but I don't know how to make the jump and the leap to true alignment and fulfillment in my career. And so how are you thinking, what are your thoughts, Ravi, on that?
Yeah, no, great point. I think for us, it's really the orientation. This is the work that once you know, as Perry mentioned, what your superpower is, what the thing is you do in the world, whether it's that next step, John, like the one in front of you, or the 1-3 steps ahead. Once you're on that path and you have that orientation of this is the thing I'm supposed to do, it really clears it up. So, we call it the envision and strategize part of what we do, the orientation. But once you have that work done, and sometimes it's not easy, sometimes it is. But once you know that, you've got guardrails, you've got the path ahead. So whether you, like I said, the next step's right there, and you can pick the right project or the right moment or the right movement, or it's the moonshot, and you can work between the two because it's real practical. Does that help?
No, that helps. But I want to dive into this a little bit more because I feel like we're using all these moon references.
Okay.
Well, it's time, right? Those rich billionaires went up
I love it. But what I'm talking about is, and we're talking about superpowers and, this and the other. But I think I want to talk about, sometimes I think when people think superpower, they think out of their reach, or the law of proximity is too wide. And so I want to, for the novice ears, talk about, a superpower. How I see it typically are very those things that come so naturally to people, they don't even know it's a superpower because they think everybody has that skill set, when really if they tap into the fundamentals of what their gifts are, then their superpowers just kind of flow naturally.
This is exactly on point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a coach, I'm a coach. This is where it starts. And this is why I said to you before, it's context neutral. We want to take it out of context of your job, even your family, your work, your title, any of those kinds of things. If we picked you up and dropped you anywhere in the world, you would do what you do.
Yeah.
We're wired for it. And so that first initial piece of this is to really, truly understand and articulate that idea. My superpower, if you will, is the ability to see the best version of things. It's like having X-ray glasses, and instead of putting them on and seeing your underwear, I see the best version of you or your project or the thing, or wherever I go in the world, that's what I see. And I am compelled, literally compelled, to share that vision. that is my purpose. And I get fulfillment in my life from being able to pursue that. I can do it anywhere, in any situation, wherever I am in the world, anytime, because there's always something to look at and see a better version of.
Yeah.
So when you boil it down to this idea, right, like you're saying very much, John, that this thing's there, it's inside you. When you start to identify it on its own, then you have the ability to apply it everywhere. So you're talking earlier about, well, but maybe I'm trapped in a job I don't like, or this or that. Well, the truth is you can apply it there too.
Yeah.
You just have to know that that's the thing to build it around.
Yeah.
Right. So you build your job around that. You build your reality around that. You build your world around it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Hey, John, and maybe the first step is really to help identify it and find it. So for
Yeah.
some folks, it's really accessible. You can think, I do this thing super well. I know it on the tips of my fingers. For some folks, it takes some time to do that deep dive and go through your history as a child, as an adolescent, in work. Like, what are the things what's the thing I do? And once you know the thing you do, wow, like it changes. The light bulb goes off, and now you can orient yourself and always do that thing and be successful at it.
And this is why we set up TMC, because first there's that orientation piece. You need to know this about yourself, and we will help you understand it. Then, once you've found that and you have that through line, if you will, then it's all about optimization. So now, how do I build on it? How do I build this company or this world or my reality around making sure that I get to pursue my greatest potential all the time? And that's what TMC is really for. We do that deep dive at the beginning, but the ongoing piece, the really exciting piece after that big aha moment is, okay, what am I going to do next? How am I going to make this better? How far can I take this? Yeah. And so those are the parts of the journey that we really focus on once we're together. And we have these, handpicked, curated mastermind groups where Ravi and I are there to specifically not just keep you on course, but to push you in these directions and prompt you and call you out on your crap when you're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about masterminds for a second. What's the ideal number for masterminds? How often should they meet? How do people come prepared? What to expect? Like, what, share it with me and the community.
We've put a lot of time and effort into honing in on the model that works best for us. There's different kinds of masterminds. There's, hey, there's an industry mastermind and you pay a fee and you get to hear speakers and stuff like that. We believe that, and from experience, the greatest single, possible way to do this is to find people from a variety of different backgrounds and industries and cross-pollinate. The two rules are, you have to be committed to doing your best work, and that you come with an open mind and complete confidentiality. The magic number for us on any given day is about 8, which means we put 10 people in a group because we average about 7 or 8. We run ours every week, and we get on average 8, sometimes 9 or even 10 people in each meeting. And that means that everybody has time. And we run them for 90 minutes. So that's our particular formula. So once a week for 90 minutes, you are in your group with your people, your peers, helping push each other forward. And everyone has the time they need to get the attention they need.
Yeah. It's, as you're talking about things, and you've said the word a couple of times, you walk into this arena, it's this, you walk into this, walking into that arena of growth, and next steps and just the vulnerability it takes for, in many cases, already very successful people to get to their next level. Just talk about the level of vulnerability that someone needs to have to really crack open and grow.
Yeah, I'll jump on it first, and I'll throw it to you, Per. So, John, I have a saying I like to use that, leadership is lonely.
Yeah.
So when you enter, as you say, this arena, and when you're part of this cohort, it is that way. You have to be willing to share your biggest challenges, your biggest opportunities, mistakes you've made along the way. And that's what makes the group so powerful, because you've got like-minded people, successful where they are and best in the world at their sector, that want to improve. They're working on a common mission. They're there for each other to support, and not just a safe space, but want to move the ball forward. So that level of vulnerability is really crucial, and to curate it and also to really vet it and make sure it fits well is a real key part of what we do.
Yeah, I love it. All right, guys, you ready for a quick speed round?
All right.
Perry, favorite book and why?
Oh my gosh, The Story of B, because it helped me understand the structure of things in a different way. It broke the paradigm that I've been stuck in for a very long time.
What was it? The Power of B?
The Story of B.
The Story of B. Oh,
I like that. I'll get you the author.
Yeah, send it to me. Ravi, favorite book and why?
I'm going to go with the last book, the one I'm doing right now. I'm redoing, I just mentioned Collins, Built to Last, and helping organizations build a process, not just tell time.
Yeah, love it. Perry, best piece of wisdom you've ever received?
From one of my former business partners. He said, you go out in the world and make things happen and bring them home for me to integrate.
Nice. All right, good. Ravi, best piece of wisdom ever received?
Mine's a lot simpler. Measure twice, cut once. Really do your due diligence, have the detail, and make sure before you make that move, make sure it's right. Yeah,
that's great. Fellas, it's been fun talking with you. I appreciate both of your times and enjoyed just getting to know you and learning a little bit about your business. Share with everybody your ideal clients and how they can connect with you.
Our ideal clients are leaders who want to know that they're capable of more and want to go to the next level, and they're ready to ask for help.
Yeah. I find that is my ideal client too, because as a coach, I always love talking to other coaches on this show. But as a coach, whether I'm working with a solopreneur, Fortune 100 company, anybody in between, C-level leadership, manager, salesperson, if they're open and ready to do the work, then I can work with them. If they're not, it's really hard, because you can only, I always say I'm not a magician, right?
Sure.
I'm really great at what I do, but I'm not a magician. So, it's
we're
great.
Guides.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we're guides.
Yeah. What'd you say?
We're guides.
That's it. Right.
You gotta be there for the journey.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Ravi, any closing thoughts?
No. When you're ready, we're the guys to come to. And John, that your clients as well. You can't make someone be ready, but when that light goes off,
you're right.
Boom, the magic can happen. The last thing is, you can reach us at. We're always ready to take a call. Would love to, entertain any conversation someone has. You can reach us at themoonshotcollective.com.
Yeah. It's funny you say that though, because as you grow up, people know, I need an attorney, I need an accountant. You don't come saying, oh God, I need a business coach and a mastermind and but then when you realize you need it, you want it. So
gotta have it. No, it's must see TV. You gotta have it.
Absolutely.
Once right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Fellas, this was great. I really appreciate your time, your insights, how your perspective on things. It's change is not always easy, but it takes a lot of work, and it starts from the inside, and then you need the proper guide to bring out the best potential in yourself. Sometimes people ask me, well, why do you have other coaches on your show? I'm very selective on the other coaches that I actually have, because I believe that there's enough business for everybody in the world. But to interview other coaches, I like interviewing ones that really have deep hearts. And so you guys do, and I appreciate what you guys do. Think community, thanks for tuning in today. Perry, Ravi, thanks guys. Hold on the line just a second. Appreciate you both.